Hi, I'm Omale Jeffrey Jojo. Hope you are doing great to the glory of God, the Almighty Allah. Okay, last time I did justice to this, and to this, I said I'll solve this because this has a lot of details. Then you solve this. This one is all about just too simple, but this one, there's something unique here. This logarithm greater than 1, this less than 1, this less than 1. So how do we solve it? How do you put your table so that the marker can also be happy with you? If that is the case and you want to know, then watch. That is, we're given, that is Roman numeral 1, that is question 2, I. Good. What they give to us is this to evaluate. If you want to write for your maths to be different, you can say that given that this 2.067 over 0.0348 multiply by 0.838. Good. Now, if you are given something like this to do, you can bring this one to the center. You can bring this one to the center so that you can write perfectionally. That is 2.067. It's for all of them. Now, given that this to evaluate thus, good. So I'm solving it already and say given that this the square root of 2.067 over 0.0348 times 0.838 to evaluate thus, you write it like this. It's very simple. Before you start, because you're not telling them what you are solving and what you are doing, let us go. First, what to do first is to write what? Number. Draw your line. Log. This is very simple for a start. Do you know why in your paper you shift it like this? When you see something like this, they are going to be work at the front. So shift it so that the front you can analyze. Now the first thing I'll write here is what? 2.067. How many numbers do I have before the point here? 1. And the first thing you do is to find the characteristics before you find the log. And you must consider this point if it is logarithm greater than 1. If it is logarithm less than 1, you count the numbers of zeros. Now, this one I have logarithm greater than 1 because 2 is bigger than 1. Now, since I have this, before the point I have only one number. And as if you have only one number, your characteristics is what? If you have only one number before the point, your characteristics is 0. Put the 0 down. Now you will find your characteristics. Don't be scared. Put it down. It's a rule. In mathematics, we deal with rules. That's why machine language, they said you must be a mathematician, statistician, or physicist, or computer scientist. These are prerequisites because we deal with rules. Now, having given this, I didn't mean these numbers are 2. It will be like this. Maybe they are 2 before the point. It will be 0, 1. So my characteristics will be 1. If there are 3 numbers before the point, I'll say 0, 1, 2. My characteristics will be 2. So this one is one number. My characteristics is what? If it's one number before the point is 0. So my characteristics is 0. Thank you. I have to explain that because students, if you don't give them rule, they'll be confused. The first I gave this kind of rule, somebody came and thanked me. That was 2013 at QIC. Man of God, I'm a Chris, was there that time. And I know he may not remember that time again. He was also a teacher then who came home. So I have to find the logarithm of 20 under 6, difference 7. Forget the point. Once you have 4 numbers, forget the point. The first thing to do is for you to find your characteristics. Now, logarithm of 20, go to your log table, start opening it. If you open log table, there are different things there. Don't go and find maybe log of sines of angles. This one, if you are looking for logarithm, what you go to is section A. I don't know your own section there in any log table, but make sure you are working under the logarithms of numbers. So here I'm under the logarithms of numbers. They say 20 under 6. So I first my 20 is here under 6. The first column here is 0 under 0, but they say 20 under 6. I'll leave this column 1 2 3 4 5 6. Under 6 is 3139. 20 under 6 is 3139. 3139. I did not write it straight because there's a difference for me to look for. So difference 7. Difference 7 is 15. I'll not write 15. Add them. 9 plus 5 is 4. That is 14. 4 carry 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. Plus the 1 you carry is 5. Bring the 1 down because there's nothing under to add. Bring the 3 down. So this when you can now write 3 1 5 4. Good. Once there's a difference, you must write down somewhere before you write it down, because you have to add the difference. Now I'm done with the numerator. I'm done with this. So I now go to, since I'm done with this and I have denominators, what I'll do is to write what? Numerator. Numerator. Now, if you write numerator, what to do is like this. Draw like this. Good. Now, this side, since you are done with here, because this thing has an extension, the numerator will now give me 0.3154. Yes, you draw your line. Draw your line. Now, the other one is 0.0348. How many zero do I have here? 2. Since it's 2, I have bar 2. I told you that if you have bar, what you do, if you have 0, this logarithm less than 1, what we are concerned with here is the zeros. I have 2 zeros. That is minus 2. Hello? But in this place, we write bar 2. Right? So if you write bar 2 in that way, before the next thing you do is to put points. Since you are written bar 2, there are 2 zeros. So I wrote bar 2. You put your points. Don't be scared. Now you have to find the logarithm of 34 under 8. Somebody said that, why won't I find logarithm of 3? Because there's no logarithm of 3. There's no logarithm of 9. It starts from 10. So, and I have 3 numbers. So I have to add the 2 numbers together. Logarithm of 34 under 8. I go to the logarithms of numbers. 34 under 8 is what they said. The first column is under 0. Under 8 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Under 8 is 5, 4, 1, 6. I'll write it directly. 5, 4, 1, 6. Do you know why? I wrote it directly because there's no difference. There are just 3 numbers. There's no difference. So I wrote it directly. Now I have to bring this one to, that is 0.838. 0.838. 3, 8. How many 0 do I have here? 1. It will now be bar 1. Point 83 under 8. Logarithms of numbers. 83 under 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9232. Since there's no difference, I'll write the 9232 directly. 9232. But this denominator is multiplication, so that means it's plus. Plus. Write your plus. Plus. So you now find the solution. Now 2 plus 6 will give me 8. 1 plus 3 will give me 4. 4 plus 2 will give me 6. 5 plus 9 will give me 14. I'll write down 4 points, carry 1. Now bar 2 plus bar 1. Bar 2 plus bar 1. That is minus 2 plus minus 1 to give me minus 3. Now minus 3 plus 1 that I carried will give me minus 2. So this place will become what? Bar 2. Good. Now that I've gotten this, what am I supposed to do? I've gotten this one here. That means I'll write denominator. I'll write denominator up to this side. This denominator. And the denominator, what I have there is what? Bar 2 points 4648. 4648. Now, this is the denominator that I have, and what is there between them is what? Between the numerator and the denominator is division line. So I have to subtract. I put my minus. See my arrow denominator. I put my minus. Now there's something here. 4 minus 8 is not possible. If I borrow from you, this one remain 4. You must look at your work very well before you start, so that if there's any need for you to operate something, you operate. Now this one will be 5. This one become 4. 4 minus 4. Good. 1 minus 6 is not possible. So if I take 1 from it, to be 11. This one becomes possible. But this one is now 2. 2 minus 4 is not possible. And there's nothing for me to carry from here. So in this case, I have to operate on something. Now look at it. That means this line that is here, I have to take it in this way. There's something for me here to operate. I can say that this thing is either approximated or it's the same thing. Let me say it's the same thing because there's nothing that is added. This becomes equal to what? For me to add something to this line, I have to add 1. I have to add the 0 number. 0 plus 100 is equal to 100. 0 plus 1m is equal to 1m. So if you except you are multiplying 0 with by a number, if not, if it's addition, is the same thing. So see what I'll do. This will now be what? Bar 1 plus 1. And bar 1 plus 1 is 0. That is minus 1 plus 1 is equal to 0. So I just added the 0 number. Bar 1 plus 1.3154. So this one also becomes what? Bar 2. Bar 2. My minus is there. Bar 2 plus 0.4648. 4648. So in this case, if you have done it like this, which is still the same thing, you draw your line. You draw your line. So this one I can draw it like this. Can draw it like this. Good. Now if I have this, That means I have to do one work here. Look at this one very well. It's not that I can draw the line like this. This very line that is from here, I can now draw it because I want to work on something here. Now look at it. 4 minus 8, this one will now become 14 minus 8, which is what? 6. This one becomes 4 because I carry 1 to meet this, to add to 4 to become 14. 4 minus 4 is 0. This one is 1. 1 minus 6 is not possible. I add 1 here. This one becomes 11. Now 11 minus 6 is 5. Now this one becomes what? 2. I carry 1 from here to this place. This one becomes 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. You put your point. Now this one becomes 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. You put your plus. Now this one is by 1 minus this. I've done that before. Look at it here. Look at it here. That is minus 1. By 1 is minus 1. Minus 1. Minus, that is a minus here because it's division line. Minus 2. The by 2 there is minus 2, which is the same thing as minus 1. Minus times minus is plus 2, which is equal to what? By 1 plus 2 is the same thing as what? 1. So this becomes what? 1. So for me to add this, 1 plus 0.8506 is what? This will be equal to what? 1.8506. Now they understand what you did here. So for me, this very thing I did here, this one, the whole of this is division. That's what they told me to do. The whole of this is division. So for me to write here, I need to take the answer to this place for me to write. This is what I have from the work here. And I have to do this. And I have to do this. So this will give me 1.8506. So I have to divide this one. The whole of this work here is inside the square root. So I have to divide this by 2. So you now write it like this, because we are now writing all of them, so that this, you have to show them 2.067 over 0.0348 times 0.838. In this way, you now be equal to what? This. That is 1.8506 divided by what? 2, which will now give you, if I divide it by 2, it will give me, now look at it. 1 divided by 2 will give me 0 remainder 1. When we're doing that very thing, if you see 1 and they say 2, since they cannot go, they said 1 divided by 2 is 0. Now if I say 2 times 0, it will be 0. How many this thing remain to give me 1? You now say remainder 1. So in that case, if you come here, 1 divided by 2, I have 1, remainder 1. Add that 1 to 8, it will become 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Put my 9 here. So 1 divided by 2 is 0. 0 remainder 1. Sorry. 0 remainder 1. I put my 0 here. Point. Now add that 1 here, it will be 8. That is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. That is 9 times 2 is 18. Now 5 divided by 2, I have 2 remainder 1. So I put down my 2 here. Add that one to 0. This one becomes 10. 10 divided by 2 is what? 5. Put down my 5 here. Then this one becomes what? 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now, this is what I have from here. So from here, you draw your arrow. You draw your arrow. Draw your arrow. This is what I have. So my arrow from here will now give me the anti-logarithm. So go to anti-logarithm. Let me remove this one so that you can see the work very well. Remember, I told you to do this. So look at it very well. Even if I'm not going to flog you, please do it. You will learn. I want you to see this very well. Good. This one is where to evaluate. Now look at it here. If you see the work I did here, this is a pure exam question, WAEC or NECO. I was able to bring it down. I said the denominator is this. We wrote it here like this. It was this before, but we have to add minus 1 plus 1. And minus 1 plus 1 is 0. So I did not do anything here. Why I added this is for me to make sure that I subtract successfully. Now, if you look at the same no calculator, and you have been seeing me apart from the log table, no calculator. So you must be careful. If you use calculator and you think you can dodge, the examiner will know, the markers will know, because the value will be different, the figures will be different. Now look at it here. They said this, after finding the whole thing here, that is inside the square root, I have to divide everything by 2, the final answer by 2, because I said the final answer of inside the square root, not the overall final answer. I divided it by 2 because it is a square root. If it is cube root, I'll divide it by 3. If it's fourth root, I'll divide it by 4. But if it's cube, it will be different, and others. So now 92 under 5 difference 3. 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 So you open your table to anti-logarithms of numbers. Anti-logarithm of numbers, you check 92. 92. That is after the logarithms of numbers, you have anti-logarithms of numbers. 92. 92 under 5. The first column is 0. You say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8414. We are not going to write it directly because there are 4 numbers. 8414. Since there are 4 numbers, you have to write it somewhere. Find the difference, add before you bring it out. So then that 92 under 5, we say is 8415. So go to the difference there at the front. Difference 3. Difference 3 is 6. Difference 3 is 6. So you now put the 6 there and add. 6 plus 4 is 0. You carry 1. Add that 1 here. It will become 2. Now bring down the 4. Since there's nothing here to add, bring down the 8. So after finding everything with and add the difference, you can now take it back. Now another thing is there. I have 8, right? 4, 2, 0. Good. This is not the answer. This is not the answer here. I'm supposed to write it somewhere before bringing it here, but I want to explain something and put my point. There's 1, there's 0 here. So where will I put my points for me to find out that what I'm doing is correct? When you find anti-logarithm, you consider the characteristics. Hadn't been this thing is 1, I'll add another 1. That is before the point. Then if it's 2 that is here, I'll add another 1, it will be 3. I'll now count from here 1. I'll count from here 1, 2, 3. After 3, I'll put my point. But now is 0. So I'll add 1. It will be 1. So I'll now count from here. 1. After 1, I'll put my point. So after counting 1 is 1, I put my point. That's 8.420. Now, if I find out like that, I can now say I've gotten the final answer because of this. See my arrow. Very important because they want to show that you are finding the anti-logarithm. So I can now say that therefore the square root of 2.067 divided by 0.0348, 0.0348 multiplied by 0.838 is now equal to 8.420. This is my final answer. Do you know why I did not take it to anyone? They did not tell me to take it to either two significant figure or anything. They just told me to evaluate. So it will be 8.420. That is the final answer. I didn't mean they said to three significant figure and others. I would have taken them there. Now, this is a pure WAEC NAPTEB jump. No jump. They cannot give this strong one in the jump. WAEC NECO NAPTEB GCE. So thank you so much. Make sure you follow all of them. Do that assignment. Make sure you follow all of them and do the assignment. Look at my table. Anybody marking this will see my arrow. This one is the numerator that I've worked. This one is the denominator that I've worked. Then after everything, I have to what? Add. Start working them. I added. I have this. Because it's division, I subtracted. Sorry, and I have this. Then 1 plus this, I added it to have this. So from here, what they gave to me, everything here is inside the square root. So I have to divide it by 2 to get this. Immediately I got this, I have to find the anti-logarithm to get this. So I have done justice to this. This question is mixed with logarithm less than 1 and logarithm greater than 1. So there's nothing you can not do in logarithm again. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Matex12 or watch this on our page at Mathematics and Technology Skills. Good. Then subscribe and share for people to learn. This is an undiluted mathematics made easy. I've unveiled all the secrets. Thank you so much and don't touch the die. Bye.